Listener discretion is advised.
It's time for another Steel Revolution podcast. Please keep in mind that the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individuals, and they do not reflect any official view of the United Steelworkers, USW Local 105, or its officers or sub-board members for officers. Now, from the banks of the mighty Mississippi River, this is Steel Revolution.
All right, hello, podcast listeners, and I don't sound right.
You sound right to me.
You sound good. Yeah.
I honestly do.
I don't.
Maybe it's your shitty headphones.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
So you sound fine to me.
Thanks, Sean.
You're welcome.
You're keeping all that, right?
I can, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we should. Welcome to Steel Revolution 116, I think.
116.
Yeah. We can correct that later if it's wrong. I'm Roy Hutt.
It's correct.
I'm Mike Nicholas.
Sean Geisens.
We're missing at least one today, and that's fine with us.
Yep.
Man.
Yep. They needed to go to school and get educated.
Yeah. They probably should be there for a while.
Yep. So kick off a news segment here as we continue to make sure our members are educated and informed. The events calendar, Sean.
Wow. That
Like
sounds
that?
fancy.
Yeah.
So to start that off, we have a bucket collection next week, January 25th and 26th, for a union sister, Nicole Trout. From the rolling department, we will be at all three gates at all shift change times. Please bring cash. It would be greatly appreciated. She's been out for quite a while battling cancer, so any money you can throw in there would be great.
Yeah, our next round of new hires is scheduled to come into the plant or start their orientation on the 30th of this month. So a reminder, when they get into the plant, welcome them, keep them safe, teach them how to do the job right. We also have a second charity bingo event on February 4th. Also, just so everybody knows, looking at possibly doing a music bingo in March. I got to see if I can lock that in, but that'll be for a different charity. This one's for our support of the school supply drive. Again, February 4th, you can reserve a spot by calling the hall. The doors will open at 12:30, and the bingoing will begin at 1.
All right. We also have Union Night at the Storm, February 11th. The puck drops at 7. We have tickets here at the hall. They are $10 each in section 105. You also get, with that $10 ticket, you get a $5 voucher for every ticket purchased that goes towards concessions. So come down, there's no limit, and get your tickets at the hall.
Now I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because I just remembered something. So if you go there, you purchase a puck for the Chuck-a-Puck. All the proceeds go to Bridging the Gap. Lee, do you want to? Oh, he's not here. So if Lee was here, he'd say that the Veterans of Steel are looking to support that charity event, Bridging the Gap. Again, it's for veterans. It is February 16th from 9 to 3 at the American Legion in Davenport off 35th Street. And again, all the Chuck-a-Puck proceeds from Union Night go towards that. So, it's a good deal. You save quite a bit of money on a $17 ticket. You're only paying $10, and then you're getting $5 back for a voucher to use on food or drinks. So, use some of that money you saved and donate it.
Yeah, and do the Chuck-a-Puck, and you can win some prizes and help out a good cause. So.
Reminder, our next business meetings are February 21st. At the end of February, the Iowa Federation of Labor will have its legislative conference. That is February 27th and 28th. During that, I imagine most of our time is going to be talking about school vouchers and why should we care about that. School vouchers will take money away from the public schools, which ultimately will probably drive down whatever benefits our public school teachers will get. Also, with less attendance in the public schools, that's less reason to update the buildings, get new buildings built, which impacts our trades. So we are against, as the Federation of Labor and all that against the school vouchers, and public money needs to go towards public schools. Next round of third level grievances will be March 29th and 30th. And then just to keep you guys up to date, we are still looking for ARB dates. We got a pretty good amount of discharges. We got to figure out what we need to ARB.
So if you have a grievance out there that you know you have and hasn't been held at second level, get a hold of your committee person and get it heard as soon as you can.
Some articles that were in the Forerunner that we want to explain a little bit further. One was the CEO visit, and like we said, vast majority of our time with the CEO, Tim Myers, and then the vice president or the GRP president, executive vice president, Diana Pereira, was talking about Alight and our payroll issues. We know payroll is very important. It's the only reason we go in there to work is to get a paycheck. We don't go in there for the fun. So we made sure they knew about that. They understood. According to Tim, was the first time he heard about it.
Yep.
So there seems to be some traction. Just today, we were told that Diana's doing some research and asking for issues from across the master locations, probably across the master locations and then some, but there was definitely a different tone today in, their researching and trying to go after Alight to do a better job for us.
Yep. We also discussed safety with Tim and Diana. Some of the main things we talked about were communication when we have events happen or injuries happen. Usually most of the plant doesn't hear about it, or they hear the wrong things because it goes through the rumor mill, as we all know. Again, the tone's very different now after we talked to Tim and Diana. They're talking about different ways to communicate, doing more stand downs. We have departments doing stand downs. But we had a terrible end to 2022. We had a terrible start to 2023. We need to get back on track. I believe that communication and talking to people about these incidents can help them from happening again. We've had cranes, the grabs come loose, come out of the sky. We've got to investigate these properly, get to the bottom of why they're happening, and then communicate it so it doesn't happen again. We've had a couple in rolling, we've had a couple in plate, and I think we are getting to the bottom of them. It sometimes does take a little bit of time, but as soon as we do, we push for the communication so that we have it to all our members.
Yeah, and the other thing about that is, we hear from people, they bring up issues, and the issues are not addressed. We're not saying that our general mechanics or anybody else out there does not address the issues, but rather that management falls on a death here there, and it doesn't go any further. So work with your committeemen, work with your safety reps, your stewards. We need to collect data. We need to take that to management to fix these issues.
And again, like we talked about at our business meetings this week, if something doesn't look right, sound right, feel right, stop in the moment, get a supervisor, get a safety rep, steward, talk through the issue. If you can get through the issue, great. If you can't, stop harder. We'll go to the next level, and we can always go to the plant manager and to Pat Stock if we have to. We've had to do it once before, but I'd rather take a few hours of downtime now than take a lot of downtime because somebody's hurt or we've wrecked a machine. So again, continue to stop harder. We can get these things fixed.
All right. Also talked about Inget. Lee, want to talk about Inget?
Oh, where is he?
Yeah. Go Steelers.
I like donuts.
Got any donuts?
I wouldn't do that to you.
Anyway, they are still looking at investing in the ingot plant. Lee was letting everybody know at the business meetings that there's a lot of import ingot that comes in that we do not pour, that contributes to the overabundance of scrap. So having an expansion in the ingot plant can take care of some of that issue. And on top of it, it's around an additional 40 jobs at the plant and job security for us here. So the main drawback on that is whether or not the ingot can perform. So as long as there's continued improvement in ingot, hopefully we can get, Tim can get the board of directors to okay that investment. Reminder that our office manager, Dan, is here from 6:30 to 2:30 Monday through Friday, and he is the go-to resource for you if you have questions about retirement. We're having quite a bit come down lately, but he will answer your questions. He knows it better than I know me. I'll talk for myself.
No, I would agree. I just sent somebody to him today.
And while you're down here talking to him, and after you retire, come back, they're here for, we are now giving $170 worth of merchandise. 175.
Yeah, that's what you're trying to short him $5 there.
What do you think? You're the
Roy?
financial secretary?
I'm looking at that going, wow, you're screwing him out of $5.
100. Well, somebody that will remain nameless. That was the committeeman in a certain plate mill said it was like $400, and I'm like, that's a little high.
Yeah, that might be a little high.
Person called down here. I'm like, that's a little high. That's a little more than.
So you had to pull it down a little bit to save some money.
I had to pull it down, and then I pulled it down further.
Too low?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's 175.
At $175 worth of merchandise, we are working on getting a card together from the board for our retirees, and then putting a certificate in there for your merchandise. But then you can come down and get whatever you want. What we were dealing with is we do a cap and a watch and a jacket, and you get in there and most people are like, well, I don't really use a watch, I got my phone, or I don't want a jacket, I want a hoodie. And they're like, let's just
Give them a number.
Yeah, let's just give them a number and they can come down and get what they want.
Yep.
I already spoke about the bridging of the gap. COVID and what to do. We had a few weeks ago somebody call medical, or not call medical, it was on the weekend, I believe.
Called security.
Called security, said, hey, I'm not feeling good. I got a positive at-home test, and what people were saying is they told me to come into work. Well, we spoke and got some clarification on that. I think the one thing to realize is that they are not going to keep you out of work. And, if you do not have a test from an actual doctor that's positive, you don't fall into them telling you that you need to stay home. So at that point in time, you got a decision to make, and most likely you need to call your doctor and figure out what you need to do. But we did get some clarification that no, it's probably not a good idea you come in, but that anybody from the company will not say you cannot come into work unless it's a positive test.
Yep.
I feel like, was there more that we discussed on the?
I feel like we're missing
COVID?
something, but yeah, you got the majority of it.
So another reminder, we keep on putting out there, especially at our business meetings, we do have a lot of repairs that need to be done to the parking lot and the grading around the hall, especially with them mowing the lot to the north of us. All the rain comes down. There's not a whole lot to stop any sort of flow of water. It comes over, hits the parking lot, comes straight towards the building, because the building's much lower than the parking lot, and then we have water coming in the building, and especially in the back of the hall where we invested in new cabinets. So we got to get those things fixed. So one, we don't damage what we've currently upgraded, and then also we do need to invest in redoing some of the metal work on the outside of the building because it's rusting due to the fact that the grading needs to be lowered. So there was some people out from an engineering firm doing some survey work. They were here for about 3 hours or so last week. And so hopefully we will get a hard number on what them repairs are going to be, and we'll share them at the business meeting as soon as we get them. And Lee did a lot of work on putting an article together on fidelity in your 401k and realizing or clarifying what each entry is. And learning more about wage and not here helping us out. So,
But he did put a really good article in this week's Forerunner that has helped people, and I know we've had people calling with additional questions. So
yeah, so if you've ever went to Fidelity and you wonder what each code is, like the 401k pre-tax, negotiated pay, post 2010 match, retiree medical savings, or is it Eric?
yeah,
Whatever those are and what they mean and stand for, Lee put an article together in this week's Forerunner, and it's all spelled out there for you. Like I said, if you have any additional questions, feel free to call the hall and ask for Lee Schaefer.
agreed.
If you are out on short-term disability and you need to sign a transfer posting, feel free to call the hall. We'll ask you some questions to verify who you are based on the information we got for you, and then we will send an email to HR letting them know what transfer bids for plant-wide transfer bid you want to sign.
But it is your responsibility to find out that those jobs are up.
Yep, and the hotline or the number for that is 563-459-2300 or 1-800-921-0499. Reminder that your Arconic W-2s are available online if you chose to receive them online.
And talking to the benefits team, the ones that are coming in the mail should be mailed out the beginning of next week. So should be getting them middle of next week or the end.
All right, and what was that? Last Friday's check, you should have got the second part of your essential worker bonus.
Yep.
We have not heard of a lot of issues with that, very small numbers. So, but if for some reason you did have an issue, please call down here and we can figure out what happened. Another reminder with the new year, I don't think we went over some of these before. With the new year, there are new benefits that started due to our contract. So starting this year, each ETO you use is worth $50. Again, whether you use them or you don't, they're worth $50 for any that you earn, and then you will get paid out for that in January of 2024.
Short-term disability is now 50% of your base standard hourly rate, which then is multiplied by 40 hours. And this is about a $170 increase, or as this says, 36%. So those of you that go out as of January 1st, it has to be a new claim. It can't be a claim that you've already had that you're just adding days to. It has to be a new claim. You should see 50% of your base on there. If you don't, we need to know about it.
Yep, and then the orthodontic max went up from $1,500 to $2,500. Caveat to that, we disagree with that and think it should have went back to May or June 1st.
Well, and I can speak from personal experience. We're still dealing with, I have a daughter that's in the process of braces right now. Got them last year, still has to deal with them. We've had her claim resubmitted as of January 1st, and it got denied. We believe that it went up, so you should be able to use that extra $1,000, and it's being denied. So we're working on that.
And then the hearing aids, not really that it was an increase, but instead of just having $500 per year, they are pulling ahead a couple years and letting you have $1,500 every 36 months. So with the price, I guess I'd rather have it up front and
I would too.
pay for more.
Yep.
Something somewhat similar, the replacement dentures. So after you get dentures, it starts a cycle. And every 5 years, is it 5 years?
Yeah.
I thought it was 5.
Yeah.
Every 5 years you could get a new one. But if you bought them on your own, it restarted your 5 years. And we're like, why should it restart the 5 years when
Yep.
I paid for it?
I paid for them. Yep.
We explained that to them out of contract time, and they agreed to us. So now the frequency limits on the replacement dentures does not apply to the dentures that are purchased by our members.
Correct.
Anything else? Forgot, Mike?
I don't think we forgot anything on here.
One thing with work comp, trying to think of some of the meetings we had today. One thing with work comp, if you happen to get hurt at work, you go out, you get x-rays, treatment, whatever. What we had noticed recently is somebody had that, they went and got an x-ray. The company that did the x-ray ran the person's insurance that was on file anyway because they go to the doctor through there. So they ran it through the person's insurance. They didn't, they showed up with a person from medical. They gave them information that this was a work comp and everything was seemingly done right. And the provider still billed our members' insurance. So if that happens to you, just make sure you get a copy of that bill to somebody at the hall. We'll get it to medical and they'll get that squared away. But it was, I had thought it was just something, maybe they asked for the card from our member and whatever, but, talking to him, nope, I didn't provide it. And then getting further information, they seem to make it very clear when they're there with our member getting an x-ray that it's work comp and they need to be billed, but it didn't happen that way.
One other thing I'd like to add, we continually have people looking at their attendance records now that it's the beginning of the year, finding issues. So I'd recommend talk to a steward, talk to a coach, get your attendance record, look at it. If you see problems, talk to the coach, call your committeeman. We've been dealing with a lot lately because people are noticing they're not getting their ETOs, their SPLs, and they're due to absences or things that should have been covered, like FMLA, short-term disability, and they're taking hits for them. So again, look at your attendance records so we can deal with it now rather than trying to deal with it 6 months down the road.
Yeah, always look at your attendance record every so often and always look at your paychecks.
Yep.
Other than that, just a reminder, we spoke a little bit about things happening in Iowa. Reminder that back in 2017, Governor Reynolds gutted collective bargaining for public workers. And over the years now they're having a hard time filling those jobs because of the need to constantly get their union certified, and then also you can't bargain. Your wages are set, and there's a cap; it won't go over, and then there's a lot of benefits you can't bargain over anymore unless you have the administration you're dealing with open to bargaining over different things. And what's happening is they're having a hard time filling these roles. Said, you used to get, a couple hundred people apply, some people that work for the state or for different public sector places that are hiring, and said now you get 5 or 10. Or you get people that's not staying in the jobs anymore, and that's a direct effect of what Governor Reynolds did with bargaining. And then it also hurts your veterans because there's a lot of vets that go into the public sector. So just a reminder, she has done a lot of things against workers over her career, and those are the things that we want changed or fixed, especially some of the changes in the work comp law.
Elections have consequences.
Yes, they do.
Kind of short and sweet this week.
Yeah, kind of went right through that.
Lee, you've been awful quiet today. Do you have anything else to add?
Donuts.
He's going to be happy.
I'm going to get my chocolate milk in my little Steelers glass cup.
Wow.
Hey, Sean,
Hey, Roy.
you've been quiet.
It's.
We just go too fast. You
little
didn't
bit.
you didn't have a time for throwing a pun.
I had a few, but I took the high road. I was just watching you two make fun of Lee.
Yeah,
Well, I did a little bit as well.
He's
but-
just been too quiet today.
Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, actually, you were doing most of the making
pretty
fun
quiet.
of it.
I thought I channeled him on the very beginning of one impression. That I thought maybe I sounded like him.
I thought it was dead on. It was dead on.
Here, let me. I can throw a couple more here. Let me say. Oh boy, is that pretty good?
Let's be professional, Michael.
There's another one. There's another impression of Lee.
It's pretty good.
I like it.
Anyway, where can people find us, Sean?
Well, thank you for asking. They can find us on our Facebook page at Steel Revolution Podcast, USW, Local 105. The Apple Podcast on iPhones and iPads and what have you. Podcast Addict for Android devices. The Android app, Google Play Music, the iHeartRadio app, Spotify, YouTube, Odyssey app, Libsyn.com, the Locals website, and the men's restroom here at Local 105 in Bettendorf, Iowa.
Take one of them pint classes.
Yep, get one of them pint glasses, and while you're here, buy a new shirt and some hockey tickets.
There you go.
You know what I forgot? I was talking to somebody, and we got brought up the railroad, and I said, "Oh, we interviewed somebody on our podcast," and it's like, "Oh, you do a podcast? Well, how do I?" And I forgot to say go to the Facebook page and just grab it off of the Facebook, because there's people with Google whatever phones or who knows what. It's like, you probably got Facebook on your phone. That probably would have been easier, and I forgot about that one.
Yep.
I'll remember it next time I get a haircut. Pass that on.
Okay, then.
All right.
All right, well, don't forget to say something good about your union.
Every day.
See you later.
See ya.
Yeah.
Steel Revolution is a podcast by USW Local 105, Bettendorf, Iowa.